Hello, good evening to everyone. Thank you very much for being here with us. And okay, there starts to be people in the chat. Thank you, Galactic 2.0. Thank you very much for being here. And we have also Fernando Ferlaso. Thank you for being here. No sé si tú entiendes inglés, Fernando, espero que sí. Si no, pues bueno, gracias por haber estado y tal, ¿no? Ok, thank you. And we will introduce you our guest that is from New Jersey. We have with us Holly Baglio. Hi, Holly. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Thank you, Thomas. It is so great to see you. It's been well over a year, maybe a year and a half since we've been able to speak, but thank you so much for having me back, and Yeshua blessings. How are you?
Very good. It's nice to see you again. And yeah, for the ones that don't know, Holly, we made many programs. One we made only in English. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. It's also in this channel on you can see it. Hi, Grace. Thank you very much for being here. And the rest were English with translations in Spanish. This one is gonna be only in English, so we can talk about more things. And okay, well, Holly. The ones that seen the other programs already have know that Holly is target individual, super soldier. When you started to notice that you were a super soldier and target individual?
8 years ago. Uh, 8 years ago, I woke up out of the hypnotism as well as the mind control. And 8 years ago, when I woke up from everything, I had a flash flood of memories. But also at the same time, I was in trouble. So I was looking to the Holy Bible to help me get out and to try to help me figure out what was going on. But 8 years ago, I ran through a neighborhood naked as I was reenacting hunting, reenacting the hunting parties that I was put through. And at the time, I did not know what was going on. That is what is called shell shock, what combat veterans go through when you hear of shell shock. And I had no idea what was happening to me. 8 years ago, I had a flash flood of memories. And then before I knew it and could understand what was happening to me, I began physically reenacting them out. And I went running through, and It's a really long story. But one morning I woke up, and when I woke up, I had had a lot of dreams, but I could not understand them. And some of those dreams that I was having was memories from what happened to me in my childhood. But I didn't understand exactly what was going on. And I tried to talk to people, it did not work. And long story short, I wound up one morning waking up and reenacting the hunting parties that I was put through as a child. And oh my goodness, my mind melted. So I got on YouTube and I tried to look up things to help me understand. I found some of the other children on YouTube that I was trafficked with, but anyway, 8 years ago this month, I woke up, and when I started reenacting what had happened to me, I fell to pieces. I could not speak for 9 months, and it was really difficult. What had happened to me was I was reenacting hunting parties that I was put through by Queen Elizabeth and George Bush Sr. And for the life of me, I could not explain it. And when I did, nobody could understand, or, well, some of the answers they gave me were not so great. So, Thomas, now that I've babbled on, what was your original question? I apologize.
Well, you answered already. The question was when did you notice that you was a super soldier and target individual? And you said it was 8 years ago. And okay. We talked in other programs about, well, like what you just told of the human hands and the underground bases and so on. But since what age was that going on?
Since I was a young child under the age of 10.
Okay, but since if that was going on from the age of 10, in the time that all these things happen, you must have been missing from your house, or were your family also complicit in this situation? How was that possible?
I was told that there were clones made of me, and when I was not living my normal life, a clone would be there. So, therefore, no one would know that I was gone or missing because a clone would be put in my place. My grandfather, that my grandparents on my mother's side raised me, and my grandfather was in World War II on a minesweeper ship. Minesweeper ships were, uh, if you look up the Philadelphia experiment, minesweeper ships were used in that. So my grandfather in World War II was a chef on a minesweeper ship, and he would come home and tell my grandmother how the Navy would give him and the other officers LSD and marijuana and other things just to see what would happen. So I believe it started with him because he was in these human experimentation projects. And with Project Looking Glass in deep underground military bases, DUMS, they saw I was coming and they tracked me. And when I was born into these projects.
Thank you. And Minesweeper is a ship like that that looks under the water for mines of that are there against other ships, right?
Yes, that looks familiar to me.
Okay, thank you. And but the thing is, when they put this clone to distract your family and so why they don't take directly the clone for themselves and let you alone, or they needed you especially for some reason?
Uh, uh, what I have learned while I woke up is that one of the 13 Illuminati families, the Rothschilds, paid Joseph Mengele a lot of money to create me as well as the other super soldiers that I was trafficked with. But it goes back to embryos and it goes back to what Adolf Hitler um, was searching for in Egypt as well as in Antarctica. So I was created in the deep underground military bases and I was implanted in my mother's stomach. And uh, while she carried me, I was traumatized. She was traumatized, so therefore it affected me. I was traumatized in the womb. Her and my father used to fight, so that's how that happened. Um, when I was born breech, and from the the earliest memory that I have, I think and believe, is when I was 3 years old. And I remember being a toddler around the time when toddlers learn to start to go pee pee in the adult toilet and get stickers on the calendar. I remember at that time in my life being in deep underground military bases. I remember being kept in a cage There were other children I was with and trafficked with. Sorry, Thomas. What was the original question?
The original question was oh yeah, about the clones. Why they did not take the clones directly, and why they wanted you? What was the reason? But okay, probably in this program of Joseph Mengele and so, they did not create only you, they created many more children and people to do experiments. How many children did they make to do these experiments?
A lot.
And how many is a lot? 100, 1,000, 10,000?
I do not know. Um, I only know that I was put through these projects with a group of children. So I only know what I was exposed to. I cannot give you statistics. I'm sorry. I don't know. 80% of the children that I saw in deep underground military bases are dead.
Thank you very much. There, Galactic 2.0 asks, when was the last time that you had been attacked with these dreams or experiments?
The experiments stopped December 2011. As far as the bad dreams, I continue to have them.
Okay, but you are also a target individual. Do you experience also all the uh, symptoms that this target individual, the headaches, the voices in the head, and that kind of things, or you experienced it in the past?
Currently, thank you. Currently, I am trying to come to terms with the fact that I am a targeted individual. I've been a targeted individual the whole time, but I never understood it because I was busy looking at altars and demonic attacks and trying to live right. So I had a vast array of things to look at. But recently, Heavenly Abba, behold the hand, behold the nail, healed me. And the 169 altars plus reintegrated. So now I am one whole person and one whole operating unit, one body, one mind, one soul. Uh, and since Heavenly Abba has healed me in my mind and in my personality from being ripped apart and electrocuted when I was a small child of 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and going up, because I was born into these super soldier projects. Now I have eliminated a struggle that I used to have. Heavenly Abba healed me. However, now I need to learn about the advanced technology that is used against targeted individuals. And it may sound stupid. I have been in recovery for 8 years now, but recently, within the past couple of months, I'm coming to terms with the fact I'm a targeted individual. I am electronically targeted, and the electronic targeting can be used through a second party to affect me. But that second party that the technology is going through, that second party will not know that they're being used. I could try to make a similar comparison. When Satan or Lucifer comes into a room to sift us, hopefully us who are in the room can identify the fact that Lucifer, walked in the room to sift us. Well, there is advanced technology with super quantum computers where they map your mind. And recently I'm coming to terms with the fact that I am a targeted individual. And I'm electronically targeted. So I currently, while I talk to you, my ears, especially my left one, is screaming loud. But I don't know if they're testing 6G or 7G, but these frequencies are like, they hit my ear and they just wrap around the back of my skull. The ringing is bad. It hurts at times, so much so that I feel like my ears are going to bleed. It never stops. I want to go and rip down every Gwen tower there is to stop it, because I feel these Gwen towers that we have put us under these frequencies or sonar. Excuse me, I word myself very layman, but it puts us under an electronic chicken fence. And I remember the first time they put up a Gwen tower on 287 in Bedminster, New Jersey. And once they put up that Gwen tower, my ears rang and they never stopped. And it hurts so bad it feels like they're going to bleed. And then it makes me feel, this advanced technology in the year 2008, this advanced technology that Brian TEW talks about, that Dr. Karlstrom is a great man in his field, but he uses the knowledge and personal experience that Brian too has to try to explain this information, and it's way above my head. Um, in the year 2008, while I slept, and Thomas, we've done many interviews, you and I need to correct myself and thank you for this opportunity. I repent and I'm sorry and I apologize. I was misguided. However, recently Heavenly Abba brought me into his truth. In the year of 2008, while I slept for 3 weeks, there was a message fed to me while I slept. And in my dreams, it told me that Joseph Mangley released me, as well as another super soldier, a female with the last name of Rothschild. And for 3 weeks in my dreams in 2008, I kept seeing this over and over. And it's even in my autobiography where Joseph Mangley let me go. No, he did not. While I slept in 2008, a message was fed to me, and it was fed to me in my dreams. And after a while, I bought it as truth. I accepted it. I wrote about it, but it was not the truth. It's falsified. It's falsified.
Implanted memories.
Something like that, yes. Falsified memories. They're erasing your original memories and they're putting something else in there. Yeah, falsified, implanted. But if you have something that's an implanted memory, for lack of better wording, that is definitely a red flag. So I definitely need to correct my autobiography. But I thought in 2008 I was released from deep underground military bases. It was not true. The truth was the actual physical event in December 2011. I was in Westminster, Colorado at a Hooters bar, and I was approached by 3 physical people that I was trafficked with as a child. They told me they were getting out and asked me, Holly, what would you like to do? And my actual release from the dumbs is not that Joseph Mangley let me go in 2008. When I actually got out of the dumbs was when the physical, actual event happened in December 2011 in Westminster, Colorado. I flew out physically from Newark, New Jersey airport into Denver, Colorado. That is a real physical event that's not falsified. So when this advanced technology is aimed at you, it's aimed at you to erase your memories and put something else in there in place of it. It can make you think that God is speaking to you. I had an event recently where, because this month of December, I have so many anniversaries with Heavenly Abba, I had been asking him to have a heavy presence with me because I love him and I want to be with him. And Well, all of a sudden, in a different manner, I thought God was speaking to me. It was like a still voice and ever so silent, but like if I walked or stepped too heavy on my floor, I would have missed that voice. But I heard it, and the voice gave me steps to do throughout the day. But then at one point, I mean, it was a still small voice. It wasn't talking to me audibly, but it was a still small voice. I had had a vision too while it spoke to me. I had a few visions, but the visions were a little bit off. And the visions seemed mechanical, not so much natural. I understand that Heavenly Abba speaks to us in different manners and we need to perceive him. However, that one day there was something off, but I was falling for it. And at the end of the day, the voice said something. It was a still small voice, ever so small, in the spirit, like in a gut knowing in the spirit. Um, but it had said something I did not like. And I said, I need to test the spirits. I need to test the spirits in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth's name. 15 minutes later, my lights, all of the electricity in my house went out. We were having a storm, but the electricity went out. So that was my confirmation that something was wrong, something was off. Even though it seemed like God, it's not God. And it's there to fool you. Sorry.
Thank you very much. So before you said, welcome to all the people that is coming to the chat. Nikita, welcome. Thank you very much. Maribel, welcome. La Reva Derby, thank you. Welcome. Who else? Who else we have here? Okay. Well, you talked before. We talked before about. You talked before about 169 split altars. So that means that you had. A split personality disorder, that they created different personalities in you to confuse you. And how did you change from one to the other, from one personality to the other?
The different altars would come forward and they would take control.
So
And
you was not in control of it. They did it, or it went, or it was something, or at least it was something you couldn't control, right?
with my altars, yes. Well, I was blessed because I was co conscious. Most people are not co conscious, so they are not in control. And when they are not in control, it's the altar that is operating during that time. I was blessed that I was co conscious. So even though an altar was forward, I could still see what was happening. I could not control what was happening, but I could at least see it. Um, it was like sitting in the passenger seat of your own car while you're driving, but you're not quite you. um, when I had full reintegration, um, I had a huge panic and anxiety attack because I did not know what it was. All I've known my whole life was to have altars. And when they fully reintegrated, and it gave me bad panic and anxiety. But now I understand that I am them at all times, and it does not, I don't go from altar to altar to altar to altar. Now that I'm fully reintegrated, I am all of those altars all at one time, and I can have all of that information at once. There was something else I wanted to say, and I think I missed it, Thomas. I'm sorry.
No problem. Meanwhile, you think about what you wanted to say. And now you are reintegrated, like Grace says in the chat, but now you are on your main personality, and you remember the things you did when you was in other personalities.
Yes, I remember what happened when us children were in the cages. I remember when Majestic 12 tried to do a rescue mission, if you will. Uh, I can remember what happened at all times now. When it used to be that when an altar came forward, then I could remember what happened. But now, being one operating unit, one body, one mind, and one soul, I have access to all of that information all at once. And I was really scared to lose my altars because they protect me. I need to realize I am them, they are me, but being fully reintegrated, they're not gone. I'm all parts of me are here and ever present as a whole now. So it seems like my altars went away, but they didn't. I'm still here. Trying to learn the accent of President Zelensky. I'm trying to have my sense of humor, and it's just nice to be one whole person and not have to flip or switch to be funny or to have memories, or if I'm targeted, then the altars are pulled forward, and I'm not used to that, and then it throws me off track and sets me off course.
And you say that these altars protected you from what? Did they protect you?
Heavenly Abba, Yudhe Vave, who sits on the throne, who came in human form to die for our sins, resurrect 3 days later, and then ascend to heaven 40 days later. That's who Heavenly Abba is, that got me out of the cage, kept me alive, and is how I am sitting here to give you my testimony right now.
Yeah, I understand, but you said that these other personalities, they protected you. From what did they protect you?
Well, when I was born into the super soldier projects, Joseph Mangli would torture and traumatize me and the other children purposefully to create these altars. And once he created these altars, he would program them and train them to be assassins, drug runners, sex slaves. And he did this on purpose. Excuse me. He did this on purpose to achieve his deeds. He was going for transhumanism. Please excuse me, I was thrown off course. Can you please ask me the question again?
Yeah, the question was this other personalities, from what did they protect you?
Everything. They protect me from death. I was tortured so much in a cage that I should have died and I should be dead right now. But I did not die. Instead, I
So
split off and left my body.
these alter personalities, they were created by these people that tortured you, but on the same time they protected you in a way, is what you mean?
Yes. See, if the altars were not created, I'd be 6 feet under in a grave right now. Over 85% of the kids I was trafficked with are dead in a grave. But sadly, I was one of the fortunate ones, if you will, that when I was tortured and murdered, instead of dying, an altar was created. I left my body and an altar was created.
I understand. They said, well, on internet there is a lot of information and books and so about for example, that they say that for example, these killers have split personality disorder, and that when they kill people they have another personality, and that's why when they are caught, the neighbors and the family and so on, they always say, ah, he was such a nice guy, he was such a nice person, and blah blah blah, no? Did they, because yeah, if you was a super soldier and so, did they use you when you was on these other personalities to commit criminal or immoral acts.
Yes. Once they created these altars, they would call the altars forward. And I was used for things like Pizzagate. I was on Epstein's Island. They would call altars forward to do an assassination attempt on an Illuminati family. I was called to do various things, including trying to exterminate entities on the earth. But yes, once the altars were created, they train my altars to do different things. And again, my altars have been used as spies, and my altars have been used as drug runners. So there's been a vast array that my altars have been used for. I hope I'm explaining that the right way. I apologize.
No problem. We are doing great. But for example, you said that you were in the Pizza Gate in the Jeffrey Epstein's island. You was there only as a victim, or they used you also to do other things?
I was used as a victim, but also I remember being on Epstein's Island with other super soldiers to request permission to go on assignments.
With other super soldiers on Jeffrey Epstein's island to do mission assignments. Permission from who?
Who was on Epstein's Island at that time?
That was?
Who was on Epstein's Island at that time?
So Jeffrey Epstein and the friends that we saw.
Correct the question. How about this? I would like to redirect the question. How about allow us to discuss why 8 years ago this month I went running through a neighborhood naked with my mind melting and shell shock? Apparently, there is a group called Circle 9, and they put together hunting parties. They put me through these hunting parties. I was chained up in Buckingham Palace in one of their dungeons, and I was put through a hunting party at that time. I was put through other hunting parties, and as per my memories, George Bush Sr. has one. He has places out in California where he also did hunting parties. So 8 years ago this month, when I went running through a neighborhood naked, it was because I was put through a hunting party, and Circle 9 apparently puts them together. Circle 9 is a satanic cult which is extremely powerful. After I was put through the hunting parties as a child that they formulated, Later on, I was brought into Circle 9. From my fragmented memories, still, even though I'm fully reintegrated, I still have fragmented memories. It's just I can access them all at the same time. And I pray for clarity in those memories. But I was brought into Circle 9, and we would ask their permission and get their, for lack of better terms, blessing to go and do assignments and missions. I do not have specific details thereof, and I'm very grateful. Thank you, Heavenly Ave, Yude Vave. And if I did, I still would not give them. So this is to the best of my ability.
The it's well, a lot of people has been related to this hunting human hunting parties, among others here in the Netherlands, where the Dutch royal family, a few ministers of the Dutch government, and also, well, how would I say? They relate also the death of Prince Friso of the Netherlands with that thing. But there are two versions. Some say that he got crazy and started to kill people all around. Others say that he wanted to get out and tell everything, but okay, I don't know. But how you managed to survive these human hunting parties? Are you okay?
I, I managed to survive the hunting parties because they chose beforehand not to kill me.
And what was the reason that they didn't want to kill you? Was there somebody with a special interest in you, or what was the reason?
I'm not quite sure about that. I'm still looking into it. But apparently, the human experimentation projects that I was put through by Joseph Mangley had a hand in it. There was a hunting party I was put through, and some of the women or some of the children had wristbands, and some of them did not. And the ones that did not have wristbands, they still got tortured and traumatized, but they were not murdered. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
About the Jeffrey Epstein that you say you've been in his island and so there the story goes that he was working for Mossad, and that all this thing of having girls there, bringing people to have sex with them and so was all about filming the sexual acts, and then that Israel could blackmail the elites of the United States. Do you know something about that?
I am sorry, I do not know the details of why I was on Epstein's Island. I only have fragmented memories. I I remember that temple and what's inside of it. I remember sitting at that table he has, um, speaking to our current presidential, or well, our current presidential administration and certain people, but the details I cannot give you, even if in Pizzagate. I only remember that I was passed around by politicians in Pizzagate, but the details I don't know. On Epstein's Island, when I do have any real coherent memory, I was sitting around that table that is made of animals, and Epstein asked me about my making or how I came to be or my programming. And I believe I snapped out of altar and I looked at him. He asked me about the cages, and I woke up and I looked at him across the table. And then, for lack of better words, the commander of that assignment shot Epstein a really bad look. And then Epstein looked back at me and he changed his line of questioning. And then I don't remember.
Which important or famous people did you see in his island?
Um, I have scattered memories. I can tell you who I saw in the Dumbs, or from that, George Bush Sr., Barry Obama. Trump was not in the Dumbs. Um, Hillary Clinton, Steven Tyler, Meryl Streep. Um, there were a lot of people affiliated with the deep underground military bases and Pizzagate. I can't remember everything. I'm sorry. Um, I did give Trump my testimony about Pizzagate when he was a sitting president. And at the time, I was still recovering. I wish I could give that interview to him again. So, but I have scattered memories. Some of the politicians that I saw were wealthy people. Um, I cannot point them out because I don't see them on mass media. I'm only shown on mass media who they put up. But Biden was in the Dumbs. His son was on Epstein's Island. And forgive me, I'm getting nervous all of a sudden. I apologize, Thomas.
No problem, don't worry. Okay, we had a few questions of people. Oikos Love asked Holly, can see some archon or some ET? Well, I think she asked if you saw ETs or archons in all this process.
Yes, um, in deep underground military bases, I saw different species of aliens, if you will. As a small child, I remember making a pact, a promise with three other children that should any one of us get out, that we would come back for each other. And I said to the three other children, well, I love my grandparents. They raised me, but they lied to me. I mean, if you take Santa Claus into account, they lied. I'm not quite sure about God, but so far he is the only one that did not lie to me. And me and the other children made a promise to each other. But because I said I'm going to trust God, because he's the only one that never lied to me, and I was picturing the Holy Bible in my head, there was a reptilian that busted down the door, ripped it off the hinges, and came in and beat the ever living daylights out of me in front of the three other little children that I had made a promise with. So if you stub your toe in the Dums, you should never say Yeshua's name. You should never think of the one true living infinite God, because it stops everything and you're going to get hurt. I probably didn't answer that question very well. Very well. I'm sorry, Thomas.
No, well, as very good. Okay.
But as far as that technology, right now my ears are ringing. Um, I hear, like, you asked me a question earlier, how does the advanced technology affect me? My ears are ringing. This one's exceptionally loud. I hear different pitches, and it gets so bad sometimes where it actually stalls me, it cripples me. Um, it affects my physical health. It affects the way I think. It affects, I can be feeling happy like the birds are chirping and the sun is out. But once this technology starts hitting me, all of a sudden the days are dark and gloomy. And I have physiological problems, physical and emotional problems. And just to balance my day, I cannot. Just to try to eat, I cannot. Everything is very uncomfortable and abrasive and intrusive. I feel, for lack of better terms, like I'm sick, like I have the flu, like I have depression when this advanced technology hits me. I have a shift in moods, and my loved ones can see those shift of moods. So it feels really strange, and I don't like it. And when I do certain things, it hits the ringing in my ears hit me harder, uh, my heart will start throbbing, like it starts beating out of my chest, and I feel like I have high and low blood pressure. Um, I do not see physical objects in my home moving around from this technology, no. But my emotions, the way I think, how I'm feeling, and my physical health is affected by it. So right now my ear like killing me.
So, Maribel asked there in her question, you are still programmed, you are still in the target individual, because this thing what you tell of noises in the ears and so on can only be done with electromagnetic machines to make this kind of effect in your head.
Okay, I understand that comment. However, I am not programmed anymore. I have, for the past 8 years, brought myself before God on the throne
You
in
are not
chair
programmed, but you are
programming.
in some kind of program to make to how would I say, um, to make you sick and so on.
That's not programming. That's being targeted. I'm a targeted individual. I'm not programmed. I do not need to deprogram. Okay, I'm targeted. Um, for lack of better terms, the powers that be are aiming direct energy weapons at me right now to affect my health. And I am suffering that. So I'm targeted. I'm not programmed. There's differences. I don't mean to be rude. I just want to recognize the different definitions. But right now, yes, I am extremely targeted. And if I wanted to cower and bow down to their energy, to their electronic targeting, and if I wanted to bow down to their super computers that map my mind, I would not do this broadcast. But I do not submit and I do not surrender to their targeting. I will fight through it. But yes, my head is exploding right now, among other physical effects I'm feeling in my body. I've got the body of armor from God on me.
Now that you, oh sorry, can you say again what, because we did not hear.
Oh, no, I stopped. Forgive me. I interrupted you, Thomas.
Okay, no problem. No, it's because every time that I speak, I put you on mute. Otherwise, I hear a lot of noise. But the thing is, after the 8 years ago, um, you found out about all these things that happened to you, and Now, you told all this, and so are you not afraid that they do something to you, that they take revenge against you, or maybe they kidnap you to bring you back in this program or something like that?
I do not think about it. I don't think about it. I cannot think about it. No. I made a decision 8 years ago to come forward with my testimony. I knew the dangers, but I do not think about it anymore.
And not so long ago. Hello, Nancy Sandmeyer. Thank you very much for being here. What asks their Galactic 2.0? Are you afraid of the dark with all these ugly things?
Yes, I keep night lights on when I sleep. Yes, I'm scared of the dark. I don't like it.
And not so long ago, the Queen of England died. You said that you was there in Buckingham Palace. Who did you see there of the British royal family, if you saw anyone or you can remember, and what did they do there to you exactly?
Could I have one moment? One moment so I can show you. I just want to grab something off my bookshelf.
Okay, let's see what she will bring for us. Well, and the ones, okay, what?
Okay, so
Okay, we see a drawing.
yes,
Lori
okay,
says
so
there.
when I was chained up in Buckingham Palace, I remember a woman and a man. Um, sorry, this was the dungeon. They threw kids down the stairs. The drugs were in the food, and the kids were chained up. I was chained up in the dungeon of Buckingham Palace. There is a girl that's a redhead near me. And then off to the other side was a younger boy and a younger girl. And my memories are still fragmented, but I tried to draw what happened to me in Buckingham Palace dungeon. I guess right before we were put through a hunting party. So it was the royals, Queen Elizabeth and Philip, I, Charles, um, I don't know how quite to explain it, but
And probably, and because yeah, you say you was in Jeffrey Epstein's island, and Prince Andrew was the friend of Epstein, and then Andrew must have been in all this also, right?
I think so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thomas, I cannot hear you. I'm sorry, Thomas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was saying that now King Charles wants to make it look like Andrew was the only bad guy in the royal family, and that's why he kicked him out, and so on and so on. But I think that the whole royal family, not only the British royal family, but the Dutch royal family, and all royal families of the world, they are all fucking Satanists and pedophiles, So now because they catch this Prince Andrew, they want to, yeah, he's just a rotten apple and blah blah blah, and the rest of the British royal family, they are such a nice people and blah blah blah. And they are all fucking lizards.
Say la. Yes, they are. They are.
Because you think that they are some kind of alien, like they say that they transform into reptilians and so on, or you think this is more like some kind of myth, or it is something just like sometimes I think that, well, maybe it's something more genetic, like they come like some kind of alien or reptilian lineage, you know. But yeah, other times I think that maybe, yeah, they really transform into reptilians and so on. What do you think?
I definitely think that they transform into lizards or whatever they do. Because when I was a young child in the Duns, Queen Elizabeth had a direct hand in creating me as a super soldier, Joseph Mangli and George Bush Sr. But Queen Elizabeth, as well as her clan, they transformed and shapeshifted. And when they did that, they ate the kids and they raped the children. What the royals are is nothing more than the serpent seed. They're not like you and I, whether from the Netherlands or the UK. They're they're not human. They should not be considered royal. I don't think I answered that so great. I'm sorry.
No. You very good. And in the United States, which families would be reptilian?
Oh, jeez. I can we take it person by person? I
Okay,
really
or
I
say
can't. I don't know. I'm
some
sorry.
or say some persons that are reptilians in the United States.
Like Biden, Hillary Clinton. Well, they're not actual reptilians. They're people that allowed that stuff and welcomed it into them. But since they did that, geez, I don't know. Barry Obama, the Bushes, all of them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm
And
sorry.
if they are not reptilians themselves, at least they are controlled by them. The
Yeah.
Bushes definitely they are, and then the Rockefellers and these big families. Okay,
I'm,
well, yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have said Rothschilds and Rockefellers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, the Rothschilds they live a bit everywhere for sure. You have Rothschilds living in America also, but I think most of them live in Europe. Okay, well, we have almost 1.5 hour of program. Maybe is enough for today, but other time we continue talking more about these things. I don't know if there is something that you would like to tell us that is did not come out during the program.
When my fragmented memories become clearer and I can see those faces that did so much wrong to the children, I will most definitely come forward to tell you those names. I'm working on it as best I can.
Perfect. Then we will maybe we put the date for another program because when is the best for you on Friday or you don't care which day of the week is the best?
Well, whatever is easiest for you, but Fridays are my favorite days. So, whatever is easiest for you, Thomas.
Which
And
is
I
your
would love if you came on Fringe with me too. So, we'll talk about that later.
that I come to your channel, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We ask me on Messenger, and we put a date. And for you coming here, let's see. It could be Friday, the 3rd of February, on the same time than today, or you want earlier or later?
This is fine, Thomas. Whatever is convenient for you is good for me.
Okay, then let's make it this time. 8 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, well, and then you speak to me on the messenger and you tell me which days, what time you make your programs and so that we can agree for me going to your channel, okay?
Sounds great. I cannot wait for it. I love you so much, Thomas, and I give you my blessings and your chat room my blessings. And may Heavenly Abba bless you greatly in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth name. So thank you so much for letting me be here this evening.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you to all the people that has been watching us tonight and in the chat. We all love you a lot also in this channel. And I love you a lot and to have you here also. And well, please everybody subscribe to the channel of Holly. The link is on the description. And okay, thank you very much, and we will have soon, I hope, more programs in English in this channel, Mr. Klaus. Thank you very much. Good night. Okay.